Calaroga Shark Media.
I'm Journey Joe Mitchell, and welcome to a commanding edition of 5 daily trivia questions focused on some of the most famous and influential generals throughout history. From ancient battles to modern wars, these military leaders have shaped the course of human events through their strategic brilliance, tactical prowess, and sheer force of will. Today, we'll be testing your knowledge of these legendary commanders and the conflicts they fought. Attention, soldiers of trivia. Let's charge into battle. Question 1. Which ancient Carthaginian general, known for his military genius and his crossing of the Alps with war elephants, fought against the Roman Republic in the Second Punic War? Question 2. Who was the French military leader and emperor who conquered much of Europe in the early 19th century before being exiled to the island of Elba? Question 3. Which Union general, nicknamed Unconditional Surrender, led the successful Vicksburg Campaign and later accepted Confederate General Robert E. Lee's surrender at Appomattox Court House, effectively ending the American Civil War? Question 4. Which German field marshal, known as the Desert Fox, commanded the Afrika Korps during World War II and led a brilliant defense of Normandy against the Allied invasion? Question 5. Which American general, who served as Supreme Commander of Allied forces in Europe during World War II, later became the 34th President of the United States? Take a moment to strategize your answers, and I'll be back with the solutions and some fascinating facts about these legendary military leaders. Welcome back, trivia troops. Let's march through the answers and uncover some intriguing information about these famous generals and their battles. Question 1 asked, which ancient Carthaginian general, known for his military genius and his crossing of the Alps with war elephants, fought against the Roman Republic in the Second Punic War? Answer, Hannibal Barca. Hannibal Barca, born in 247 BC, was one of the greatest military strategists of the ancient world. His most famous achievement was leading an army, including war elephants, across the Alps to invade Italy during the Second Punic War. Hannibal's tactical brilliance and his ability to inspire loyalty in his troops allowed him to defeat larger Roman armies in several key battles, including the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC, where he inflicted one of the worst defeats in Roman history. Despite his successes, Hannibal was ultimately unable to conquer Rome and was forced to return to Carthage, where he later took his own life to avoid capture by his enemies. Question 2 asked, who was the French military leader and emperor who conquered much of Europe in the early 19th century before being exiled to the island of Elba? Answer, Napoleon Bonaparte. Fun fact, Napoleon Bonaparte, born in Corsica in 1769, rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most famous and influential figures in European history. As a military commander, Napoleon won a series of stunning victories against the armies of Austria, Prussia, and Russia, expanding French territory and influence across the continent. In 1804, he crowned himself Emperor of the French, establishing a vast empire that stretched from Spain to Poland. However, Napoleon's fortunes turned after his disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812, and he was eventually defeated by a coalition of European powers and exiled to the island of Elba in 1814. Napoleon briefly returned to power in 1815 before being decisively defeated at the Battle of Waterloo and exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, where he died in 1821. Question 3 asked, which Union general, nicknamed Unconditional Surrender, led the successful Vicksburg Campaign and later accepted Confederate General Robert E. Lee's surrender at Appomattox Court House, effectively ending the American Civil War? Answer, Ulysses S. Grant. Fun fact, Ulysses S. Grant, born Hiram Ulysses Grant in 1822, was a key figure in the Union victory during the American Civil War. Grant's first major success came in 1862 with the capture of Fort Donelson, where he earned his nickname Unconditional Surrender for his uncompromising terms to the Confederate defenders. In 1863, Grant led a brilliant campaign to capture the Confederate stronghold of Vicksburg, Mississippi, a victory that divided the Confederacy and gave the Union control of the Mississippi River. As commander of all Union armies in 1864, Grant launched a coordinated offensive against Confederate forces, leading to a series of bloody battles that ultimately forced General Robert E. Lee to surrender at Appomattox Court House on April 9, 1865, effectively ending the Civil War. Grant later served as the 18th President of the United States from 1869 to 1877. Question 4 asked, which German field marshal, known as the Desert Fox, commanded the Afrika Korps during World War II and led a brilliant defense of Normandy against the Allied invasion? Answer: Erwin Rommel. Erwin Rommel, born in 1891, was one of Germany's most celebrated military commanders during World War II, nicknamed the Desert Fox for his clever tactics and leadership of the Afrika Korps in North Africa. Rommel consistently outmaneuvered and defeated larger British forces, earning the respect of both his own troops and his enemies. In 1944, Rommel was assigned to oversee the defense of Normandy against the expected Allied invasion. Despite his best efforts, the Allies successfully landed on D-Day and began their advance through France. Rommel was later implicated in a plot to assassinate Adolf Hitler and was given the choice of suicide or a public trial. He chose suicide and died on October 14, 1944, leaving behind a complex legacy as a brilliant tactician and a symbol of German military prowess. Question 5 asked, which American general who served as Supreme Commander of Allied forces in Europe during World War II later became the 34th President of the United States? Answer: Dwight D. Eisenhower. Fun fact: Dwight D. Eisenhower, born in 1890 in Texas, was one of the most important military and political leaders of the 20th century. During World War II, Eisenhower served as Supreme Commander of Allied forces in Europe, overseeing the successful invasions of North Africa, Sicily, Italy, and Normandy. His leadership and ability to coordinate the efforts of multiple nations were crucial to the Allied victory in Europe. After the war, Eisenhower served as Army Chief of Staff and later as the first Supreme Commander of NATO. In 1952, he was elected President of the United States as a Republican, serving 2 terms from 1953 to 1961. As president, Eisenhower oversaw a period of economic prosperity and relative peace, while also confronting the challenges of the Cold War and the growing civil rights movement. As a reminder, portions of this podcast were created with the help of AI to ensure we bring you the most engaging and informative content possible. And if you're enjoying 5 daily trivia questions, don't forget that you can subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts to listen without interruptions. For just $4.99 a month, you'll have access to this and many other shows on the Calaroga Shark Network, all completely ad-free. Your support is greatly appreciated and helps us continue to create high-quality content for our listeners. Thank you for joining me. I'm Journey Joe Mitchell on this fascinating exploration of some of history's most legendary generals. From ancient battles to modern wars, these military leaders have left an indelible mark on the course of human events, shaping the world we live in today. I hope you've enjoyed learning about their incredible lives, their brilliant strategies, and the conflicts that defined their careers. Until next time, keep exploring the rich tapestry of history and the remarkable individuals who have helped to weave it. Dismissed!